Welcome back to Pigs TV and this subscribers video. So, what have we got and what are we going to do with everything? Well, I just wanted to first say thank you very much for getting me over to the what I call my second threshold. It's been a lot more work and a lot more intense than I anticipated. When you start these things, you just don't really know how it's going to go, what's going to happen, who's going to talk to you, anything. So if you are one of the obviously the early adopters, you'll know from the 100 subscriber video. But obviously, if you've never seen me before, hello. I look as if I've been chucked through a hedge, and I put one of me Pigs TV t-shirts on that I have, it's a sort of an introduction if you've not seen me. Obviously, I used to come and do the videos with the camera all the time, and then I decided to that I'd seen, well, not so much seen some of them as they already knew, but I'd, if you play, let's say, Mini Motorways or you play Factory or Timberborn or any of the others, sometimes you wouldn't see some of the information that I was on about, or you couldn't see, especially like Mini Motorways, you couldn't see what was happening behind because I was there. Unfortunately, behind me, I haven't got a green screen. I could buy one of these big ones, but I'm doing this on a budget because this is all I have at the moment, and as people know, some of the situation that I'm in, unfortunately, I'm still looking for new employment. So this is basically what I'm doing. It's like passing the time, but I'd like it to turn into something more if I can't find anything. So that's why it's important for me to produce stuff what you want to see. If I don't produce it, you're not going to watch it. If I'm not going to watch it, I'm not going to grow. It's not just yourselves, it's other people seeing the content. It's incredibly difficult to do. Like I said, a lot more difficult than you can imagine. I mean, obviously, like myself, I was a YouTuber for years. I'd just go on a night, sit there or whatever after work, have some nosh or whatever, or be having a cup of tea because I drink a lot of tea, as you can, as you can tell, and that sort of thing. But doing these, I have a massive appreciation for what content creators. Now, I'm only tiny. You can imagine what the big ones. I know the big ones have got a lot more money and they maybe have other people. But obviously, like I said, I'm doing us on a huge budget, and I've only got what I've got. Even down to my job, if you like, or what my job was as a developer. That's what I used to do. In all different sorts of things. So whether that be Android, whether that be mobile, PC, or whatever, and whether that be web or applications or whatever. I've done a lot of stuff in my life. So and that's why I created pigstv.com. So I thought, well, I'll pay a bit of money out of my money that I have and change one of my web IPs to be able to do this. So that's why you've got pigstv.com. If you've not seen pigstv.com, please go and have a look at it, because obviously every week you have new videos, or you can go back and select. It's a lot easier than YouTube, massively lot easier than YouTube, and to see it. And then we have a games board. Now, I mentioned previous, but obviously if you knew, you won't even know this. But if you go there and look at the games board, the bigger boards, now it should work on a PC, it should work on a tablet and phone. It looks a bit different on the phone as you can turn it and rotate it. Now, I would also have your make sure you do have your rotation device on as well, because you can see the schedules in a different orientation. So it's all created out of what I've done all the years, all by myself. There's no other proprietary software on there or extension. It's just pure. It's just pure. But anyway, that's a different story. So what are we going to do? What am I going to do to try and increase this with hopefully your help? Now, obviously, I did start Discord, and then recently I had some problems with it when I'm sure Discord deleted the channel. They won't say they had, and every time I tried to log in using another account, not the personal one, it just doesn't work. And then eventually they got sick of it and decided, oh, thank you for your time. I'm glad it's working. I thought, well, it's not working. I can't log in. And I kept asking questions and they kept ignoring me. They wouldn't answer the question. I said, I don't want the. I said, I'm even sending the email that's connected to it. You know, it's me. But anyway, so I'm gonna have to sort that out and maybe start the channel again. I've got everything sorted. The only thing I didn't do was the rules of that, and then I was gonna open it to you, saying, you know, because I know a lot of content creators use Discord to post their new videos to say now it's here. I don't need to do that. That's what pigstv.com is. That's why you don't have a login. I didn't want to even give you a login, so you could just go on there free. You don't even need. Now, this is another bone of contention I have with Google. You don't even need a login either for Google or any of the others. Now, I wanted something different on all of the browsers, but because of how Google's done it, and they don't like using other browsers, it's easy to use, obviously, Chrome than using any others. But it should work. I'm not parfait with iOS. I don't have any iPhone stuff, and so I've had to try and do other things to be able to see if it works. Now, obviously, if there's few problems on that, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do to upgrade it. Now, there is some upgrades coming soon on pigstv.com, so you might lose it for a couple of days, if not longer. I don't know yet. I've tried to upgrade the database side and all the other, because that's what it's using, and unfortunately, when I use my IP software to do it, my hosting thing, for some unknown reason, it fails. And as far as I'm aware, it shouldn't. Mine's using a later version of PHP. And I put it to that and it doesn't work. I don't know why. I'll have to contact them and say, look, I've changed this, but why is it not working? What have I done wrong or whatever? But anyway, that's the story. So, in the essence of what I'm going to do, obviously, we're still doing things like mini motorways. This is a big one on there. I know they're bringing something out soon at the end of August. I don't know how that'll go. I don't know what that's going to be. It's a creative. It's not what I was really looking for mini motorways. I was looking that you could do your own maps, so that I could say, well, here's a map of my hometown, and you can start playing it. You know, that sort of thing. But I don't know what that's going to be. We've also obviously still running Factorio, which is a bit of a nightmare this season too, because they changed things mid-float. As I was obviously in the season 1, it was easier. They brought out this space update and changed a lot of things of Factorio, so it changed how it works slightly. So in this, I have the crude oil and whatever. If you've not seen it, go have a look at the video. And I'm slow. I don't speed. I'm not a speed player. I've never have been. It's not the way I do it. I'm methodical, you know, and that's what I tried to talk about. Also with Timberborn, which I think is one of the greatest games in the last 20 years that I've ever played. I absolutely love it. Every time I play it, I get so smile. I get so love it. So obviously we're still running the 3 at the moment. Now, obviously, if you're watching this in 3 months' time or whatever, some of them will be stopped. Now, we're trying to do about 50 videos of each one, and you can imagine how long that's taken. I could have scrapped them and then just done update 7, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to show you my own learning and learning throughout Timberborn. When I first started Timberborn, I knew nothing, and I wish I'd known all the things that I did. That's why I did the beginning. But the 2 main ones, if you only want to watch the 2 main ones, is Cliffside. That's Beaverbrook 1, as I call it. So it's like the first series of Beaverbrook. It's just a name that I think. I did a bit of Googling with beavers and it come up with Beaverbrook, which apparently is a hotel in somewhere in England. I can't remember where it was. But anyway. And then Beaverbrook 2, which is New Diarma. Now, obviously, New Diarma is newer than the Cliffside. But it's in the smaller maps, so you're having to think of ways, and this just suits my playstyle. So anyway, so that's going to be still running. We are going to be doing more Timberborn. It's a hugely important thing for me personally because I enjoy it. And the thing is I have to really enjoy what I'm playing for you to enjoy it, because it'll come through. So and that's why I like Factorio as well. Now, Factorio is a different sort of game. It's in that building genre, but it's, you know, it can be frustrating at times and things, and there's a lot with Factorio that. that I want to do. So anyway, and then we've got one of the biggest, the big bar, or Beyond All Reason. Now I've done obviously some gaming guides and things like that. So the way I'm playing it is, or the way I'm looking at it is I go on multiplayer. So I do the scenarios as well, and I've been trying to finish them off, like everything else I've been trying to do, and get some more of them. There's about 3 or 4, maybe more to do that I feel are beneficial for a new player or whatever. How your ideas are. And then I go to play multiplayer. So you get 2 sets of videos. You get the Battles series, what I've called, and then the retrospective series. Now the retrospective is it may be of me playing of the Battle series. You can tell that because they both come out at the same time and they both come out the same day. So you can either watch the battle, and sometimes it puts people off because you zoom in and doing that and there. But the retrospective, I don't try and zoom too much. And I critique my play, and I also obviously look and do what we do. So we've got other ones in, and I'm playing against or playing with as well. And then I go back and say, this is where I think I made wrong or trying to improve myself. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I hope that's more of an enjoyment. Technically, the retrospective gets more views than the battles, but you can see the two. But what happens is the battles is when I die, that's it. That video stops. So you'd have to go to the retrospective. So you got that either, I did early on Carry On, and then I thought, well, I'm casting it now, like the retrospective, so it's a pointless waste of time. So that's what happened. So it just gives you an idea, because, the thing about bar is, in one sense, is when you get good at it, you forget about how you got good. You don't do things that you used to do. So I'm trying to do it that I play. Sometimes I play it quite well. And that is Supreme Hitman, one of the recent ones. Is we just weren't doing anything at the front. We weren't getting through. So I had the idea of using a Marauder and going through the sea. That's, I think, is last week, I think. And it actually worked, and I obliterated, and I was quite happy because I did a lot of the damage. It was mainly me, you know what I mean? So I was quite happy with that. It took a long time, but I still need to learn more. I still need to play more multiplayer, and I still want to do it. But it's obviously a lot of work. But I know people enjoy that, so I will be playing more. So it's like, well, what other games do you like to see? What gets you going? What really do you enjoy? I know there's a Stormgate. No, I know there's this Zero Space that I've downloaded it. It's there as a demo. I haven't installed it yet, but that's another one. That's supposed to be quite like StarCraft 2, and some people say it's StarCraft 3. So there's another thing that we're going to look at. You know what I mean? I have got a few other things there. Because, like I said, I haven't got a lot of money, so I can't buy the latest stuff. So unfortunately, that's just the way I'm money tied, and I don't mind admitting it that way. So it's just I want to play these things. I have got the new Anno sat on there, so that I might be able to fork out the money for that and do that. I can't see why not, but you know what I mean, because I don't know how long this unworking's not going to last. So I like to be truthful to people. I am what I am, and in some of the videos, I got accused of being drunk, and I wasn't too happy about that. It's just what you have to sometimes understand, especially the bar ones are probably the worst ones. They can be when if I do the battles and I do the retrospective after, I'm exhausted because it is a lot of work. I'm trying to think, I'm trying to play, and then I'm trying to do the video. You know what I mean? It's all them threes all at the same time, just going constantly. So it is a lot of work that you're trying to do. And bars it may start slow, but it's it's hard to get. So that's what it does. You're doing a lot of stuff. It's not methodical like, say, Factorio or Timberboard in that way. It's a fast-paced game when it starts to get going. I have got StarCraft 2. I will not. I can't entertain playing it because I'm not that good, and I get frustrated. So I'd like to learn it, but the trouble is, how much do you learn? How much time do you have? You know what I mean? Like I say with these videos, every time at the moment, like I said, I'm doing another project. That's what I should have mentioned as well. Is I have this other project that I've been doing for years, I did pause it. I don't want to say what it is, and I picked it back up again recently because a few things happened that fell into place, if you like. And so I've been trying to finish that off and get it because I'm going to somewhere in October. I know that sounds a long time, and it is a long time, but the trouble is this is a physical thing. It's not a software thing, so it takes time, and it's got to be right and whatever. Fortunately, I don't need to buy anything else. I have all the stuff here that I need to do it. But we will have videos on it, and I hope you try. I know if you're not a nerdy person or you're thinking, well, I'm just coming for this, is when I, thingy, always have just have a nosy. Just sit there, have a cup of tea or a Coke if you like, or water or whatever you're doing. Put your feet up, and just say, oh yeah, so that's what Pig's doing as well. Oh yeah, I quite like because you'll see what it is when you see it. So yeah, so that's another thing that's going. Once I've hopefully got rid of this in the next month, I've been doing some testing this week. This is a testing week of before I start to do the other parts to it. So I've done some of the others. It's sort of split into 4. It might be 5. I've done mainly the first quarter. That's all been tested. That seems to work perfectly fine. I've done most of the second quarter. That's on another part. That seems to be fine. There's a few things changes. I've done the third quarter. Yeah, the third quarter on some of the bits. That's fine. But I might have to change it. I don't know whether it's going to work. And then the fourth quarter, which is what I'm on at the moment. That was nothing. It wasn't even there. So I've sort of had to start it and change it and do it. And that's what I'm doing between the video. So I'm doing what I'm doing. Wait for something to finish. Come back and do a video. So it's all over the place. So apologies if some of the videos are not at the same time or some of the same day. That was the problem. But obviously, if you're seeing this in 6 months' time, that might not be the case. But if you want to see more sort of videos of different types of games, I might put a post, say, you like to see more RTS, you want to see more building games, like, for an example, the Timberborn and Factorio classes building, so you might want to see SimCity. I know a lot of people don't really like SimCity. Then, there is a load more on, and I do have a load, I've got a game called Citadellum. That was an indie game, and that's there. That reminds me of a game called Caesar 3. If you've not seen it, it's Caesar 3 is an old game. They do have new ones of that as well, which is the Augustus extension, which changes a lot of Caesar 3. And I love Caesar 3. I've always liked it since I was a kid. And there's a couple of other games that I'm waiting for. Hopefully, I can get a demo from the guy, which I've been wanting to talk to them and see if I can, because when I saw some of the images, it just reminded me of a game called A-Train. Now, A-Train has been on Sony, but trying to play these sort of games on a console is terrible. You need a mouse. And it's just basically, it's sort of A-Train, it's a building game. So in a sense, it's the genre of SimCity, where you have to build rail lines to get things and things. But that was when I was a kid. And that was on the Amiga, Commodore Amiga, which, you've heard me say about old computers that I have here, and I've showed a few and things like that. So that was there. And it's funny enough, the show to I actually go to, a lot of people have never played A-Train. I played it like, you know what I mean? I recently, a few years ago now, bought the actual game in a book and everything, so I actually have the book on it. And I was wanting to actually do a game. I've done a game on it. I think it's been suspended at the moment because I've got to upgrade it because it needs to be on a later Android. But I did do an 80/20 conversion of a game called Gauntlet. It was in 1985, and that was on Google as well, so you could play on your phone and tablet and whatever else and play the things like that. So I've done also, like I said, I've done all sorts of things. So I'm gonna need your help just to give me an idea. Now, if you say, well, create one of these posts, which I did recently and thing, because I just don't know what people want to see, and I want to produce more stuff. I don't want to produce. There's no point me producing videos that you don't want to see. So, because I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to get to more people. And obviously, you people now that are subscribers, and even you just watching this as a viewer, and may subscribe in later. Just viewing and liking is so important for a small channel like myself. And if I don't like something, I don't mind you coming on and say, hey, Pig, I didn't like this because of A, B, and C. What I didn't like was this person come on and basically accused me of being drunk. And when I turned around and said, well, I'm not drunk. I'm trying to think of this and everything all at the same time. And then he tried to turn around, oh, it was just a joke. That to me is incredibly ignorant and very disrespectful of somebody that's trying to say, if you don't like it, then don't watch it. I can't do anything with that. I can't do anything with a voice. You might like the Australian voice better than me. I speak English. I'm an English person, but I'm a Northern English. And if you don't know England as a whole, we're a small country. And in England, within 50 miles, the voice will change. I'm right up the north. So I was born in a place called Northallerton, North Yorkshire. So if you don't know where that is, go Google it. Northallerton, one word, not two words. It's north of York. So if you look for York, then you just go a bit further up between what we would call Darlow or Darlington and near Thirsk and things like that. So this is how I start. So yeah, we always go. Every because I live down in the southwest of England at the moment. I won't say exactly, and I've always got ripped because of my voice, because obviously I don't sound like the people down here, you see, and I've not lost this northern accent, so it is what it is. I can't change that. Now, it may, as you coming through here now, sound incredibly different, because my old mother, lovely person, she's getting on. She's about 80-year-old, and I've just got her to, because they're not tech savvy really, and I have to fix all these things for them, and so I put one of my videos on YouTube and showed me more. And she said, well, that doesn't sound like you at all. I said, I know it's you because obviously you've got the logo and the things like that. And but it doesn't even sound like you in real life. So unfortunately, the mic does change my voice. Usually in the morning when I had a cup of tea or whatever, it's a bit deeper. So sometimes it can get a bit higher. And like I said, I like to mess about on the videos as well. I like to do different voices and do different things, and especially on the mini motorways, you saw more of my sort of fun character on the mini motorways when I talk, because obviously I'm doing what I'm doing now, talking about what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and what I'm there, and I go off a tangent and I'm saying, oh, this is what happened with Steve at the moment, and this is what happened. Oh, I got this. If you don't know, I got the Steam box. I've not opened it yet. It does feel heavier, so I assume this is the box. I've not had a chance to try it yet, but I was going to do a video because I didn't trust them to actually send me the right thing. If you Steam was, the gaming thing on Steam is great, but the hardware side it's terrible. The stuff that they get right, and they didn't even want to give me anything, like anything free back for all the hassle I've had. Not just that, buying the original one, and they're sending something that was refurbished and it should have been brand new. But anyway, that's a different story. So hopefully that'll give you an idea of what sort of is coming on. Obviously, this is the 250 video. Now, I'm going to do another one for the 500. I may do one for 750, and I may do one for 1,000. And then we'll obviously think. But obviously, like I said, if you're just a viewer and you've not subscribed or whatever, and you think, why not, give yourself subscribe, because obviously all these subscriptions are free anyway, and help to guide me in a way. This is what I'm saying. Guide me in the way of what you want to watch, because I can't do it without your support, because it just wouldn't work. So that's what I'm asking for. What I'm, and we will get Discord, and we will get probably Facebook, and I'll still call it Twitter because it is. I don't care what Musk wants to call it. He can go jump on his own thing, X or it's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It'll always be Twitter, Facebook to Facebook. You know what I mean? They could call it what the hell I like, you know. But anyway, that's don't get me started. If I get started with that, I'll do a rant and rave about different things. But anyway, I hope you enjoy that. I hope it gives you a insight. Oh, I probably didn't mention. I've just realised because I've just got the page up. Obviously, if you go to Pigs TV at the top, you've got the two buttons. You've got the scheduler button. Now, obviously, that gives you schedule a bit like a calendar, and you can turn it. But if you go to the games board, I think this is what one or two people that were on the comments didn't understand, and that's fine. Is if you go on the games board, the bigger the tile, if you like, because it's a bit like a masonry one. And yes, it was coded by me from. It was actually one of the subscribers had the idea. Just give me an image, and it's taken from I think a Ubisoft. Their use of a program is very similar to that. And what it does is if it's like 4 tiles wide and so many big, what that means is there's more of them videos. So if you go on there, you can see a list of sort of games that I've played now or in the past, or if it's like Factorio, you'll see season 1 and season 2. Now things like that, I might sort of take off season 2 of season 1 of Factorio or something like that. And as it's getting more and more, what will happen is let's say, for instance, the battles, for an example, it's only a small tile at the moment, but as that's getting more, it'll start to increase. Now, the retro one is a biggish tile as well, so that's how you use that. It should work on... It's better, obviously, on a desktop, but not everybody watches my stuff on a desktop. I know some people watch it just on a phone. Some people don't even have a desktop computer, which I know it sounds... In this day and age, it sounds bonkers, but not everybody actually has one. So I was quite surprised when I was talking to this guy that actually was helping me out doing some of the testing and things like that. And I wanted to thank him, whether he's still around or whatever. I haven't talked to him for a while. He's not. He used to post a lot of comments and send me some emails, and he stopped. So whether he's okay, I don't really know. And I don't want to say his name for obvious reasons because it's not fair to him. But yeah, so if you ever want to say hello, just pigs at pigstv.com, and you'll get me. It's on the main. If you go to pigstv.com, it's all on there. You have to grab that text. You can't double click it or everything. It's just text. So anyway, we will be back soon, hopefully, with another subscribers video. Like I said, I'm desperately trying to keep growing this, and it's been a lot of work. But if you want other things to be explained, of other things that I do, how I do the videos or how I do this, like I said, I built my own program to be able to convert the videos. It talks to another program and it automatically that. So the way I do mine is out there because I'm a developer. That's what I've done. So you may be interested now. Even if you're not really interested, you may be interested. Well, I wonder how he does them. Because like I said, you just don't know how much work's involved. It's enjoyable, and when you start it, you have no idea what you're doing, and you have to obviously progress like everything. But anyway, I should stop. Sorry, I tend to go off on a tangent, but that's me. It's just the way I've always been. So we will see you again soon. Take care, and have a nice day and a nice week. And you know where I am. So bye.